If you like horror, hit that notification bell, smash that like button, and push that subscribe button now.
What's the boogeyman?
Hello, Sydney.
Welcome to my nightmare. We want the man who did this.
Welcome to Nick Push's Horror Channel.
What is up, everybody? Happy Friday the 13th week. I'm Nick Push. Thanks for tuning in. Today is exciting because tomorrow's Friday the 13th. I am out of town tomorrow, so thought let's go live tonight and let's do some rankings. I got 3 different rankings tonight that we're going to go over. They're tier lists. They're a big one. I'm going to share my screen shortly. Let's do this real quick. As you guys can see, I am still using the free version of StreamYard because I refuse to give these fuckers my goddamn money. But that being said, we can still do some shit on here. We're still going to share screen and go over some tier lists. Like I said, I got 3 different rankings that we're going to do for this. And we're just going to get into it, guys. I'll get to the chat in a second. But first, let's talk about the 3 different tier lists I have planned here. First one is the movies. We're going to put 12 movies in a tier list. Next is going to be the Final Girls. Okay, all the Final Girls we're going to put in a ranking tier list. And finally, the most exciting thing is we're going to rank every single kill in the Paramount 8. Okay, what is the Paramount 8? Well, something I hear Ronnie call the first 8 movies. Ronnie from All the Good Names Are Taken. And I kind of like it. It's got a nice ring to it. So yeah, like I said, I can't go live tomorrow because I'm out of town. Got some family stuff going on. My brother and niece are going to be here, so I'm excited for that. But yeah, let's see what we got going on in the chat. I just planned this last minute, so I'm sure there may not be too many people showing up, but that is absolutely okay because we're going to do it anyway. Okay, so we got Dr. Hoffman in the house. Hey, Dr. Hoffman. Yes, you are on time today. Usually you're a little late, but that's okay. You're right on time today. I'm ready for Friday the 13th. I need something to distract from the news. Yeah, especially where you told me you're located. I know you're a little bit north of there, but still some crazy shit is going on per usual in the world. Blake's in the house. What's up, Blake? How's it going, buddy? I've been waiting all day for this. Yeah, because I planned it like an hour and a half ago. But yes. All right. That being said, guys, we're going to get right into this because that final ranking of all those kills is going to take me a while. So in the comments, guys, chat, comments, whatever. If you're watching after the fact in the comments, in the chat, tell me what your plans are for Friday the 13th tomorrow. Are you going to be, watching all the Friday the 13th movies, or do you have a life and a job and responsibilities and shit like that? Both can be true at once, by the way. You can, do your responsibilities during the day, and then, your family falls asleep, and then you can pop in a Jason movie. So yeah. Ronnie says, what's happening in the news? There's some stuff in LA going on, man. Some stuff in LA. Dr. Hoffman is doing a marathon. That's what I like to hear. That's how to do it. All right. Like I said, we got 3 different tier lists. First one is going to be ranking all the movies. Second one is going to be the Final Girls. And like I said, the third one is ranking all the kills in the Paramount 8. And yes, I am stealing that term from Ronnie because he did not trademark it. So right off the bat, guys, goes without saying, this is my opinion. Tell me yours in the chat. Here are the categories for ranking the movies. This first one, I did not make the categories here, but it's Uber Jason at the top. Fuck that. I Got a Gun. I think that's from Jason Goes to Hell, right? A Movie Only a Mother Could Love. Look What You Did to Him. And Dead Fuck, A Lousy Limb. So that is where the movies fall. Hey, Brett, how's it going, buddy? All right, so we're going to go just in the order that the tier list goes. And if you guys are new to my channel, most of you guys in the chat right now are not. But if you're new to my channel, you know when I'm doing these tier lists, I do not like having more than in this case, just a couple up at the top. Even when we get to the kills, And, there's a lot of kills in the Paramount 8. I'm not going to have 20 kills in the top ranking. That just defeats the fucking purpose. If you're elite, you're elite. And there should only be, like 10% of that in there. So, there's probably only going to be 2 movies I pick for the elite here, because we got 12 movies, and I don't want to kind of make it so that elite category, the Uber Jason category in this case, is watered down. So right off the bat, Freddy versus Jason. Ooh, we are starting with a tough one. So this is an interesting movie, right? For many reasons. Like, it's not really the biggest Friday the 13th movie, even though Freddy doesn't really have any kills. The tone of the movie is very Elm Street. And we're talking Friday the 13th here. That being said, if this is kind of like a love letter to the fans, a gift to the fans, it's Freddy versus Jason. It was in developmental hell forever. For me, it's a fun movie, but the CG blood is not aged well at all. Like I said, it's got more of that Elm Street tone without actually Freddy's kills. So it's kind of weird. Ronnie Yu replaced Kane Hodder with Ken Kersinger, which is fine. I'm not even the biggest Kane guy. But for me, it's going to be towards the bottom. Not quite dead fuck, but it's going to be look what you did to him. So that is where Freddy versus Jason falls. Live to Fish Work. What's up, buddy? Says, since my wife broke her ankle, she has no choice but to watch Friday the 13th tomorrow with me as I go on and on about what I need to see in Crystal Lake. Rumor has it they're shooting soon. Yeah, well, maybe she did it on purpose. Maybe she just wanted to spend time with you. All right, next we have, which one is this? This poster, I guess it's the original. The original Friday the 13th. Most franchises, this would be top. Friday the 13th is such a unique franchise where, it's not, universally known as the best. So where does it fall for me? If you guys know me, if you followed my channel, I fucking love this movie. I absolutely love it. It's in my top 4. I can't quite go to the top though, because like I said, I want to keep that reserve for the best of the best, and it's just not quite there. It just misses, but I do love this movie. Fuck that, I've got a gun. I know it's not Jason doing the killing, but I really, really love this movie. I like the way it's shot. I like all kinds of things about this movie. So it's going to be in the second category. Fuck that, I've got a gun. Next, we have the remake from 2009. This is tough, guys. This is tough. For me, if we're just ringing the opening 20 minutes, it might be if not the top ranking, it would be right next to the original if it was just the first 20 minutes. Fortunately, we have the rest of the movie. And, I'm not opposed to doing different stuff with Jason, keeping a girl connect, all that stuff that people whine about. I'm not opposed to that. Jason's brutal. Derek Mears is awesome. It's well shot. All kinds of stuff. But for me, it's lacking. It's a little too polished. It's really lacking. I hear Ronnie from All the Good Names Are Taken talk about how it's almost like, and it sounds like this is probably blasphemy to some of you, but it's almost like they're trying too hard to show tits and shit like that, which I agree with. So this movie is not stupendous to me. It's going to go, right where Freddy vs. Jason is, right next to there in the look what you did to him category. Next, we have Friday the 13th Part 2. This one is not a tough one to rank for me. This is going all the way up. This is one of the 2 movies that I am going to have in the top category in Uber Jason. This movie's fantastic. Paul in that campfire speech is wonderful. It's just it epitomizes what the franchise is. Yes, Jason doesn't have a hockey mask. Yes, he's kind of a weak pussy in some regards compared to what he became, right? This hulking maniac in a hockey mask. But it's one of the 2 movies that's shot in the Northeast, and it feels like that, just like the original. Ginny's a great final girl. Paul is a character that I feel like doesn't get talked about enough as a great character in the franchise. I love Paul. He is great. Once we get halfway through here, guys, I'm going to go back to the chat, so don't think I'm ignoring you. But I love part 2, and it is right up at the top for me. Coming in next, we'll do 2 more and then we'll check the chat. Coming in next is Friday the 13th, part 3D. Now, another unique movie in the franchise for me to rank. On one hand, part 3 has my favorite Jason, bar none, and it's not even fucking close. It's Richard Brooker. I just love his portrayal of Jason. I love everything he does with Jason. Absolutely, Richard Brooker is fantastic. Some of that's nostalgic driven for me. Friday 3 is the first movie I saw. I was over at my neighbor's house when I was 6 years old, I think. Corey Franz, Corey, if you're watching, thanks for introducing me to this franchise, buddy. But I remember being scared of barns after part 3. It's got my favorite final chase scene, not only in the franchise. Part 3 has my favorite final chase scene in horror history. I think it is that fucking good. Chris is an underrated final girl. The beginning at Harold and Edna's little shop is incredible. Jason's in the shadows. It's very Halloween-y, where Jason's in the shadows. I love part 3. But then we get the middle of the movie where it drags and drags and drags. The last 30 minutes of this movie, probably the last 40 minutes of this movie, right up when Jason gets the mask, are some of the best in the franchise. But that middle just kind of drags a little bit. And then the 3D effects, because they're going to California and because of the 3D effects, it really, there's stuff in there that I just wish he was more in shadows. He's lit up like a Christmas tree because they had to have it like that because of the 3D effects. So for me, part 3, I can't put it to the top just because of some of that stuff in the middle dragon, but it's right up. It's right there. It is right there. Okay. One more, and then we'll see what's going on in the chat. Coming in next, this poster's a little weird. Is that fine? Is that a New Beginning? It must be the New Beginning. Yep. Another black sheep of the franchise. The New Beginning is another black sheep of the franchise because Jason isn't in there. We got Roy Burns, and it's made by, the same shit everyone says, right? It's made by a softcore porn director in, what the hell is his name? I can't remember. Danny Steinman. It's a sleazy movie, but it's got a certain charm to it. It feels like Friday the 13th, even though Jason's not in there. It feels like Friday the 13th. For me, it's going right in the middle. A movie only a mother could love. 2, 4, 6. All right, we're halfway through this. And like I said, going to get to the chat in a second. After this tier list, I have 2 more tier lists, including one of them being every kill. We're going to be here a while, guys. So get some popcorn if you need it. All right, let's see what is going on in the chat. I'm a little behind here. Dr. Hoffman says, I'm partial to the first and second. I'm old, though. I'm old, too. And I love the first and second movies in this franchise. Josh from Real Dead is in the house. Go check out Real Dead, guys. I've been on the channel. It's a great channel. They got good stuff going on there. And Josh is watching part 4 right now. And yeah, I remember, Josh, I remember you saying that you like 2009. I know 2009 has a lot of fans. A lot of fans. Dr. Hoffman says her favorite character is Crazy Ralph. I got an upcoming video I wanted to release by tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to get to it because I'm doing this instead. But where Crazy Ralph is a top 5 most important character in the franchise. Yeah, he's great. Hey, what's up, Pat? Pat's in the house. Make sure you guys go check out Pat, that Halloween movie collector. Him and his crew are always doing something good. They got a lot of watch-alongs and stuff like that. A lot of good stuff. All right, let's get back to it. Let's get these final 6 movies ranked, and then we can move on to the final girls and then the Paramount 8 kills. All right, next we got Jason Lives. This one everybody has at the top of the franchise, right, with a couple others, right? This is the MTV Jason, and this is this is the Jason that a lot of people think of. It's a good movie. It's a fun movie. It's got stakes. Tom Matthews is great as Tommy Jarvis, etc., etc., etc. I completely understand why people love this movie. I'm going to lose everybody here. It's going right in the middle for me. Like I said, I understand why people love part 6. I'm not arguing with any of that. I just like the tone of the first 4 and kind of 5 a little bit movies prior to this. This is when, Jason became kind of the hero of the franchise. And I like I said, I understand it. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I just prefer the tone of, the creepy atmosphere. And I know there's some creepy parts in part 6, but, the self-awareness and a little bit of meta before Scream, all the superlatives everyone says. Like, it's just not for me in this franchise. I prefer a different tone. Speaking of a different tone, let's go with Friday the 13th. Jason Takes a Boat Ride to Manhattan, Part 8. For me, we have our first entry into dead fuck territory. This movie fucking blows. Even taking away the marketing and the New York shit, right? Taking away that out of it. That makes no sense. Taking that out of it. It's fucking terrible. Jason teleports. Like the backstory of Rinny and young Jason and her seeing visions of him, and it's fucking brutal. Jason Takes Manhattan is god awful. And it was the last movie of Paramount era, and it's unfortunate that it ended on such a dud. Let's move on. Let's talk about something much better, and we're talking about the final chapter, and this is going to be the second and final entry into the top. For me, it goes right alongside part 2 as the absolute best in the franchise. And a lot of that, once again, like I talked about earlier, comes down to tone. And cinematography. This movie, directed by Joseph Zito, who directed The Prowler, I believe, which came out in 1981, I think. But Zito knew how to direct the shit out of a movie. Okay, he just did. Jason's brutally badass in this. Ted White's my second favorite Jason, just behind Richard Brooker. But the tone of the final chapter is fantastic. The lighting, Jason's in shadows. He's just fucking brutal. I love a final chapter, and it just feels epic with like the music and Savini coming back and the death of Jason again. It's just great. So I love a final chapter. It is right at the top with part 2 for me. All right, let's get to some more shit here, guys. Next, we got Friday the 13th, part 7, A New Blood, aka Jason versus Carrie, aka Another Dead Fuck. This movie sucks ass. It's the first Kane Hodder movie. Jason looks great. I know all that. This movie sucks ass. It really fucking sucks. Probably the most unlikable characters in the franchise. Although I do like Dr. Cruz, Bad News Cruz, Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's, Terry Kaiser. I do like his character. I mean, he's a douchebag, right? But Terry Kaiser does a great job with him. Lar Park Lincoln, rest in peace. She just died recently. Not her fault, obviously. But the movie's fucking garbage. It's absolute garbage. It's not fun to watch at all. Is it a nice change of pace? Kinda. They kind of tried taking the recipe from part 4 with a family next to a group of kids and Jason's there. It doesn't work. It's fucking terrible. So let's move on to another movie that is probably universally known as the absolute worst in the franchise between most fans, or from most fans. I'm talking Jason Goes to Hell. Okay. For me, I have some nostalgia with Jason Goes to Hell. I remember watching it for like my 10th, 11th birthday, no, 12th birthday, something like that. I remember we rented it from Blockbuster for one of my birthday parties when I was around anywhere between 11 and 13 or something like that. We rented it from Blockbuster, and I just enjoyed it. It just has some nostalgia for me. Nostalgia is a powerful thing, as you guys know. It's not very good, and it's not a good Friday the 13th movie. This is going to go next to Look What You Did to Him. And finally, we got Jason X. Jason X is known. Everyone says it's fun. It's Jason in space. It's not supposed to be serious. I don't disagree with any of that. But for me, it's not a movie I want to rewatch a lot. It's just like Kane Hodder's fine in it, per usual, right? It's a nice change of pace again, right? All that shit. But for me, it's going to go to Look What You Did to Him again. Okay? So that's kind of how I feel today. You ask me a month from now, a couple things might be changed, but I don't think much. So yeah, that is the tier list of the movies in the franchise. I'm going to pull up the tier list of the Final Girls, and then we'll get to the chats, and tell me in the chat who is, as I'm doing this, who is your favorite final girl in the Friday the 13th franchise. All right, so we are going to share my screen with the next one here. Let me pull this up. Like I said, I got a couple more of these tier lists. Final girls. Here we go. All right, let's add them in there. All right. So we got the final girls of the franchise going on right now. All right. Real Dead Josh says, talking about Friday the 13th, part 3. 3D has a ton of bad stuff in it. Acting is terrible. Yes. 2 plus dumb part where Jason assaults the final girl. Yeah, the sexual assault thing's weird. He enjoys it though. Yeah, I enjoyed part 3 a lot too. Yeah, Jaws 3D came out. Is the year after Friday 3D, or were they both 82? I can't remember, but they had Amityville 3D, all kinds of different 3D shit going on in the early 80s there. It's crazy. Josh says he really come to like part 5 for what it is. A bunch of weird stuff in it. I don't care that Jason isn't in it. Yeah, I don't care either that Jason isn't in it. Would it be nice? Yeah, but it doesn't take away the experience for me. Live to Fish Work says part 3 gets bashed because of the 3D and side plots. Still, best Jason, agreed. And Chris is underrated. I can forgive the lake being a swamp. Yeah, the lake is something else I was going to mention. You know, it's a man-made lake. It's like a fucking pond. It looks like it's bad compared, especially when you look at the first 2. It looks like a real nice big lake in the Northeast. Yeah, it's crazy. And Dr. Hoffman says Adrienne King is her number 1. All right, well, I'm about to give you where Adrienne King ranks for me. Terrible sentence again, but that's okay. All right, so categories here. Actually, let me get this loaded a little bit so we can see it better. Here we go. Categories here. Very original. I got better categories for the next one. Don't worry. But we got best, great, good, blah, and trash. All right. Same thing as before. This is just personal preference, guys, but I will not have more than 3 at most. I have no idea how this is going to go because I'm doing this on the fly, but 3 at most are going to be in the best. No more. No more. And then when we get to the kills, we're doing all the kills next in the Paramount 8. There's going to be like no more than like whatever the 10% mark is. But yeah, so at most I'll have 3 in the best category here. At fucking most. But let's start off. Adrienne King, number first up. She is Adrienne King. So where does Alice go? For me, she's not in the best. But I do feel she has become underrated. Okay, just like the original Friday the 13th, in my opinion, is underrated. Alice is underrated as a final girl. She really takes it to Mrs. Voorhees a little bit. She gets it to her too, but she chops off Mrs. Voorhees' head, and she deals with Steve Christie's sexual harassment bullshit. All kinds of shit. She's an artist. She's better in this movie than she gets credit for. It's unfortunate she had the stalker situation, because in part 2 she got killed off right away. But Alice is fine. For me, she is going to go in the good category. Can't put her any higher, but certainly can't put her any lower because I do think she's underrated. But for me, there's better. Speaking of better, Chris Higgins, Haven, Friday part 3. Fucking love Chris Higgins. I love her. She is going all the way up to best. She is in the best category. Chris really takes it to Jason in part 3. As I said when we were doing the other tier list, ranking the movies, and I was talking about the final chase scene in part 3. The final chase scene in part 3 is my favorite final chase scene in horror history. I'm not saying it's the best. It's my favorite. Jason comes through the window. Chris has all this trauma already with Jason. Jason throws Rick's body through the window. And, Chris runs up the stairs. She drops the books on him. She stabs him in the hand. She stabs him in the knee. She jumps out the window, hits him with a log, tries running him over with the van, rolls the window up on him. And then that shit in the barn, she jumps down on him. She hits him in the head with the shovel. She fucking hangs him. Yes, she would have died if Ali didn't show up. But Ali shows up and then she takes a fucking axe right to the head and we get the iconic axe mark in the hockey mask. Fucking love Chris Higgins. She probably should have done that with the axe to Rick at some point in the movie because he was being a douchebag. But Chris Higgins is great. Next, we got probably the quintessential final girl in the franchise, the one that everyone talks about how great Ginny Fields is. You know, Ginny is so great. Ginny is the best. Do I agree with them is the question. You guys saw how I felt about part 6. I was going against the grain. Am I going against the grain with Ginny Fields? No, Ginny's right up by Chris. She's great. She might be the best final girl in the franchise. Her and Chris are 1A and 1B for me. All the superlatives that everybody says, you know, she uses her child psychology on Jason. Another final chase scene that's great. You know, it's not quite as high as part 3 for me. Could be nostalgic because I just love part 3. But Ginny is fantastic. And, you know, she outsmarts him using that child psychology. She outsmarts Jason, you know, putting on the sweater. And it's just a classic scene in the franchise. But her final chase scene, last time I rewatched part 2, that final chase scene goes on a long time. She's like hiding behind trees, Jason's running through puddles. She goes in a cabin. She pisses herself with a rat, right? Ginny's great. She belongs right up at the top. Next, we have Jessica from Jason Goes to Hell. As you guys heard me talking, I don't love Jason Goes to Hell, but I don't hate it like everyone else does. So Jessica, where does she belong? Right in the trash. She is terrible. She's just a bad character. She's not likable at all. You know, Steven kind of gets the spotlight in this. Maybe that's part of the reason why she doesn't get the spotlight. But for me, she's pretty unlikable. Next, we have a chick from Freddy vs. Jason, played by Monica Keenan. I can't remember her name. Lori, I think it is, right? Lori's okay. She is okay. Nothing more, nothing less. She's not as good as Alice, but I'm going to put her in the same category. You know, she's fine for the movie she's in. That's about it. I don't have a lot of positives to say about her, but I don't really have any negatives to say about her either. You know, I know she has the line, take your bets, right? Like, like, yeah, that's a terrible line. I get that. Dr. Hoffman says, can you imagine Ripley versus Jason? That would be crazy. Stay away from her, you bitch. Yeah. Yep. That would be crazy, especially if she had the flamethrower. That'd be cool. Next, we have Megan from part 6 here, guys. All right. So if I am not as high on part 6 as most people, I must not be as high on Megan, right? Wrong. She's my final entry. I think final entry. There's one more on here that's going to be tough to not put on the top here. But Megan's great. One of the best parts about part 6 is Megan. And believe it or not, I love her dad. I love Sheriff Garris. I think he's a fucking incredible character. Who it would have been very easy for them to keep making Sheriff Garris the big asshole cop, right? But he wasn't. If you really look at that movie, Sheriff Garris was not an asshole cop. He's trying to protect his daughter and keep the city of Forest Green, Crystal Lake, safe. But Megan's great. She's got a lot of sass. She's kind of how would be a final girl would be today, where she's got a lot of personality. You know, she you know, is sexual and all kinds of stuff. You know, she's got a crush on Tommy, all kinds of stuff. Megan's great. She drives pretty fast too. But yeah, she's great. I wouldn't put her as high as Chris and Jenny because she didn't really get to face off against Jason. But as a character, I do like Megan Garris a lot. Next, we have Pam from A New Beginning. Pam is a caring character. She cares for the kids there. She's very involved in the final scene, you know, running around and her sweater's going on and her sweater's off. And, you know, Danny Steinman's making her, you know, pretty much wear a wet t-shirt and all kinds of weird shit. But Pam is okay. She's going to go right in the middle as well. I just think she's okay. I like her relationship with like Tom, or should say Reggie the Reckless and things like that. Pam's okay. I'm going to do one more, then we'll check the chat. And then if you're just tuned in after this tier list, we are going to rank all the kills in a tier list from the Paramount 8. So stick around. We've still got a lot to do on this stream. Next, we have Rinny from part 8. So I put part 8 at the bottom right? I think it's a god-awful, terrible movie. Rennie has these visions of Jason. I don't think she's as bad as some of the rest, but she's certainly not good. She's going to go in the blah category. Okay. Rennie is in the blah category. She gets a pen by Stephen King. That's cool, right? Stabs Jason in the eye with it. Her final chase scene with Jason through Times Square, even though it's not just her, it's pretty okay. Like, it's not bad at all, but it's a god awful movie. So, not going to put her at the bottom, but she's not good. She's going in blah. Next, we have Rowan from Jason X. Rowan is going to go right next to Rennie. Don't have much to say about her. Like, what can you say about her? She was frozen. I think it's Rowan. Is it Rowan? Yeah, I think that's her name. I stand to be corrected on that. But anyway, final girl from Freddy vs. Jason. Don't have much to say about her. She's fine for the movie. I'm not a huge fan of Jason X. I know it has its fans. I don't hate it. I don't love it. But yeah, Rowan is going to go in the blah category. Next, 3 more, then we'll get to the chat, and then we'll do the big ranking. Next, we have Tina Shepard, played by Lar Park Lincoln. R.I.P. Lar. R.I.P. Lar Park was great in this movie. Like I said, I think this movie fucking sucks. Part 7 sucks ass. Where does Tina go, though? Believe it or not, I'm going to put her in great. I think she's a great final girl. I think it's a fucking terrible movie. I think Jason's look is great in it. And I think Lar Park Lincoln is really, really good in it. And I think Tina's a good final girl in a bad, bad, bad Friday the 13th movie. I like Tina. And I like Lar Park's portrayal, even though it's a lot of like shaking and looking at the camera. Dr. Hoffman's right. She carried the movie. Maybe I'm glorifying the dead here by putting her up there. But that's okay. It's my list. And like I said, I like Tina. She's the least of the movie's problems. That's for damn sure. Next, we have Kimberly Beck's character, Trish, from Friday 4. Trish is going all the way up to great. I would love to, I'm tempted to switch her with Megan. I don't want to put more than 3 in the best category. But I'm tempted to switch her with Megan. Trish is great. I think Trish gets the short straw sometimes. I really think she gets the short straw. And there's reasons for that, right? Tommy Jarvis became such an important character in the franchise, right? Tommy's the one that gets the final blow on Jason. But the only reason Tommy does is because Trish is still somehow fucking alive. Trish is going toe-to-toe with Jason from house to house to house, jumping out a fucking window, saying, I'm going to give you something to remember us by. Trish is fucking great. She's doing it all to protect Tommy. Tommy, get the hell out of here. Like, Trish is awesome. She is awesome. And it's unfortunate that she's overshadowed by Tommy. And like I said, it's because Tommy became such an important fixture in the franchise. And in this particular movie, because Tommy is played by someone that became a phenomenon in the 80s, Corey Feldman. He's a fucking nut job weirdo now. Probably always was. But, Corey Feldman was a big deal in the 80s. So I think that kind of overshadows Trish, unfortunately. But for me, she's right near the top. And finally, as far as final girls go, we have, is that Whitney from the remake? Whitney from the remake. Whitney, well, we barely knew you. You have a final girl. You need to care whether they live or die. And I know what they did here. They did the switcheroo with Danielle Panabaker, which I don't hate, but we never really cared for Whitney. We saw her at the beginning. So we saw her try to escape once. Started talking to Jason in her cell or whatever. And then she got rescued. And then Panabaker got killed. And Whitney was just kind of there. And then we get the line. I can't remember. I'm paraphrasing here. But say hi to mommy. And it's like, that's right up there with Laurie's line from Freddy vs. Jason. Take your bets. So yeah, that is my ranking of the final girls. Like I said, I don't want to put more than 3 in that top. But it's really tempting. Really hard not to put Trish up there. So I'm going to load up the list for the top kills in the franchise. And then we are going to, and then I'll look at the chat, and then we will start talking best kills in the Friday the 13th franchise. And there's a lot of them here, guys. So just bear with me for a moment. Kills. This is just going to be the kills from the Paramount 8 here. So as you can see, I'll scroll through. Look at all this. Look at all that. It's a lot of kills to put on a fucking tier list, guys. Like I said, I am only going to put like maybe 10% in the top. We'll talk about the ranking categories in a second, but let's get to the chat. James Morant is now in the house. What's up, James? James says Megan is the hottest girl in the franchise, is in my top 5 final girl. Yeah, she's a good looking final girl, that's for sure. James also says Sheriff Garris was the best sheriff in the franchise. I agree. Reminds you of Donald Thompson and Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, I can see that. You know, both get a bad rap. You know, but these sheriffs have to make decisions, right? Like, yes, it's cliche for a cop in a horror movie not to listen to people when they're saying there's a killer. I get all that. But both of these cops were not bad. Dr. Hoffman talking about, I believe, Tina says she carried the movie. I agree. Josh from Real Dead says, favorite final girl, Ginny. Can't argue with that. And worst is from Goes to Hell. Yeah. See, the fact that Jessica, is that her name? From Jason Goes to Hell, it's hard to remember her name. So yeah. Allie girl in the house. What's up? What's up, Allie? Thanks for stopping by. Jamie Hart, how you doing, Jamie? I see Jamie in all these chats. You know, I think I've seen her. Jamie, correct me if I'm wrong, Jamie. Make sure I'm not confusing you. But you've been actually on camera in Davey's channel, right? Talking Evil Dead. Is that you? If that wasn't you, call me an idiot or something. But yeah. All right. So we are going to put in a tier list all the kills in the Friday the 13th franchise, but only from the Paramount 8, because I don't want to be here all night. We're still going to be here a while. I'm going to give you guys the categories in a second. All right. Good. It was, Jamie. All right. Making sure I'm not crazy. But we're going to go over the categories, and then we're going to start with the kills. All right. So I said it a bunch of times. I'm going to just repeat it because I try not to do it, but I'm only going to have like 10% in this top category at most, because I want the top category to matter. I don't want to just water it down where everything's the best, blah, blah, blah. Top category needs to be the top. If you're elite, there's a big gap between you and the next category. But speaking of that elite category, and I just threw these together, guys, so if they're stupid, I apologize. But up at the top is, I'll give you something to remember us by, said by Trish from the final chapter. So that is the top category. Second category, my special boy. Kind of the middle-ish category. Third category, he wasn't a very good swimmer. The fourth category is Frightened R, a quote from Ginny in part 2, which I'm not going to repeat. Second bottom category, second bottom, is that, you know what I mean? Second from the bottom is You Can't Be Alive. Chris from part 3 says that. And finally, we have Dead Fuck, the lousy limb, a fucking shitty kill. So let's look at some of these kills. Oh my God. Why did I do this? Why did I do this? Oh my God, guys, this is a little too ambitious. I'm going to have to piss at some point. Anyway, I'm going to go through a row, and then we'll probably get to the chat, or do 10 or so, and get to the chat. So tell me as we're going where you guys would rank some of these. You know, you don't even have to, you don't have to give me the categories here, because that's a lot of writing, but just tell me top or middle or bottom or something like that. All right, right off the bat here, we got Marcy from the original Friday the 13th. They're starting with fucking tough rounds. I mean, there's so many good kills in this franchise. Marcy's kill is great in the original Friday the 13th. What's up, Adam? Adam's here. Marcy's kill is great in the original Friday the 13th. She gets the axe to the head, right? But it's everything leading up to that kill. There's so much good stuff in this. Mrs. Voorhees obviously is the one that does this, because this is the original. And it's just dark. She's in the bathroom. We see someone go in the door, right? We see the feet of Pamela open the door. And you guys, if you've ever been camping and in one of these like outhouse type things, it's not really an outhouse, but it's like a exterior bathroom at a campsite. It's really, really well done, really creepy. So where do I put Marcy's kill? I'm going to try not to talk about these as long as I do sometimes, because like I said, there's a fucking shit ton of kills here, and I'm going to I'm gonna be here all night. I'm gonna lose my voice. Marcy's Kill, one of my favorites. It's not. It's gonna go up into my special boy. I think it's second tier for me, second from the top. It's not quite at the top, but it's really fucking good. And Jamie's right. Marcy's Kill is a classic. It's an absolute classic. Blake, I'd pop my shirt off right now, as Dennis Reynolds says in Always Sunny, but unfortunately, I think I'd lose everyone. Everyone's eyes would melt. I also got to go to the gym. Dr. Hoffman says Marcy's Kill was pretty damn scary in 1980. Agreed. Kevin Bacon's too. Let's talk Kevin Bacon. Okay. Here's a question for you guys in the chat. This kill is obviously an iconic kill. If this wasn't Kevin Bacon, would it be looked at as iconic still? I don't know. I don't know if it'd be as famous, but it's still a fucking badass kill. The arrow through the neck. You know, this is Savini, the mastermind, blowing people's minds here, right? He's just blowing people's minds here. We can talk about the logistics of it, right? The fact that they're not on the second story of the bunk bed because Ned is up on the second story of the bunk bed. So how does she have an arrow standing up? That's a great, great question. I don't know. The logistics of it are fine. It works for me. Kevin Bacon's kill is going to go right next to Marcy in my special boy, second from the top. So we are starting off strong here. Next, we have, is this Brenda? Brenda, I don't mind the fact, because we don't actually see her kill, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I don't think we see her kill. I think it just kind of flashes to white when she's out. I love the scene, though. The leading up to it is so good. She hears, help me, mommy. Mrs. Voorhees out in the woods and it's raining and soaking wet, but we don't even see it, So for me, I love the lead up to it, but there's no payoff, right? There's no payoff. I mean, what is the payoff? Does she get? She's not the one that gets thrown through the window. I think that's the next one here, Bing Crosby's son. But Brenda, you're gonna go in Frightened R. You are gonna go in Frightened R. I don't it could be worse. If there was no lead up, it'd really be bad. But yeah, you're gonna go in Frightened R. So that's towards the bottom middle there, because there's 6 categories. Next we have Bill, Bing Crosby's son. I think this is off screen too, right? We see him on the back of a door. Now, as you can see with the imagery here, holy shit, it is fucking gory. Once again, Savini. That's why it's hard to downgrade some of these with the gore. For me, it's gonna go right by Brenda, though. Frightened R. Limited Fish Work says, you're making me want to talk about my favorite chase scenes, maybe a top 5. And after watching the final chapter at work tonight, it makes me think about how pathetic Rob was when he died like a chump. Yeah, he's killing me. We'll talk about that soon. But yeah, final chase or favorite chase scenes is a good topic for sure. You should do a top 5 on that. Dr. Hoffman says Tom Savini, the master. Yep. And Jamie says with both Brenda and Bill, boring, meh. Yep. Yeah, I know it's hard to put them any higher, even though I might like the lead up to Brenda's. It's there's no payoff, right? Dr. Hoffman says she gets shot with arrows, but we don't see it. That's right. She did get thrown through the window. That's right. All right, next. Looks like we're moving on to part 2 with Alice, with the the ice pick through the temple there. After an extended recap of the last scenes of part 1, we get bored to death with that and her on a phone call with her mom or some shit like that. This is tough. We get the reveal of her opening the fridge and seeing Mrs. Voorhees' head. I think it's better than Brenda and Bill. We're gonna go. He wasn't a very good swimmer. Right in the middle, but a little higher than the other 2. I think that's probably right for it. Like I said, I'm doing this just as we go, so Yeah, that one's hard. Next, we have Crazy Ralph. Okay. I'm taking out the logistics of how this kill was possible. You know, he's kind of creeping on Ginny and Paul. And the fact that Jason, how would he get the barbed wire over the tree? I guess he could toss it and catch it, but he'd have to do it way higher. Yeah, that is tough. I don't know. I think Crazy Ralph, like, is it cool barbed wire around the neck? Yes, but I feel like I would have liked to see something better for such a, I'm going to say iconic. You know, I don't use that word lightly. Character. He's an iconic character in the franchise. For me, Ralph, I'm sorry, you can't be alive. Adam says Nick has the stride of a beautiful gazelle person. Dr. Edmund says, or piano wire. Yep, or piano wire. Next, we have, I know he's not the sheriff, but the deputy. I know they didn't even give him a name until like the novelization or something. Deputy, I can't remember his name. Anyway, once again, the scene leading up to this kill is fucking fantastic. When Jason darts across the road in the dusk, you guys have heard me say this before, I'm a sucker for dusk scenes. Sun's going down, it's between light and dark, your eyes are starting to adjust. I'm a sucker for that shit. But yeah, he's chasing Jason through the woods, and we get Jason's shack, and then he gets the hammer to the back of the head. This is a good kill. It's not quite as good as those. We're gonna put it next to Alice. Okay, he wasn't a very good swimmer. So yeah, that's a good kill. Next, we have pervert dude. Dude from the movie. The actors in the movie. What the hell's the Robots in the Mall? Whatever the fuck it's called. Anyway, pervert dude that's creeping on Terry the whole movie. He gets caught in like a bear trap, right? Not a bear trap. He gets caught on the rope on the tree. Okay, and then Jason comes when he's sitting there alone and slices his neck with the backside of a machete. This is lame. It's not bad though. When I say it's lame, like, this is not a bad kill. Okay, I'm gonna put this in Frightened R because I think we are gonna get to a lot of bad kills at some point, and I don't think that some of these belong in the same category. Let's reverse course here because we've talked about some bad ones. Goodbye, Dr. Hoffman. Thank you for showing up. It was nice to see you. Stay safe. All right, stay safe in your neighborhood. Now we're talking Mark wheelchair kill. I mean, this is an easy decision. It is. I can't scroll up to the top. This is going right up to the top. I'll give you something to remember us by. Mark's death is easily top 5 of the franchise, and it's probably not 4 or 5. It's probably top 3 of the franchise. I'll tell you guys, I have a definite number 1 in the franchise. Mark's probably number 2, if I think about it, you know, but he's definitely top 3 for sure. The wheelchair kill is awesome, you know, machete to the face, once again, backwards machete, and rolling down the never-ending stairs. It's fucking great. Next, looks like we got the shish kebab kill with dude, underage girl, and other dude, weird dude, hippie guy from part 2, Jeff and Sandra. I can't even give them points for originality here because from what I hear, they copied this kill from like Bay of Blood or something like that. Either way, it's pretty good because Sandra sees Jason open the door, and I love it how we're like with this kill, we are like in Sandra's view here, and the way I love the way you see the door open, and then she just sees, and you see boom right through there. Now this was really edited down. Okay. We just like see this image, the arrow going through, but it's still really good. This is going to go. He wasn't a very good swimmer. Next, we have, it's not Marcy. What the hell? Brenda? Is that her name? Chick that was obsessed with Mark. Is that Brenda? I think it's Brenda. No, it's not Brenda. I can't remember her name. Anyway, chick that's obsessed with Mark that sprays her panties with perfume or brown panties or whatever. She is the first one that sees Baghead Jason. Or I should say, our first glimpse of Baghead Jason is when he pops up from under the covers. So major points for that. But downgraded because she just sits there, cowers in the corner, and you just see Jason's knife go. But the scene overall just brings it up. It's tough. We're gonna go Frightened Hour with this one. Okay. And it looks like that takes us through, unless there's probably a couple others from part 1 and 2 scattered in here. Oh my God, look at all these kills. It's left still. But that takes us there, and kind of here's our flow chart right now. Through the first 2 movies, or most of the first 2 movies, we got Mark in the top spot. We got Marcy and Kevin Bacon, and then we got the way it kind of flows. And this is how it should be when you're kind of doing a tier list. In my opinion, the elite should be the elite. Okay. No dead fucks yet, though. So, all right, let's continue. We are into part 3 now. We got Harold and then Edna. Okay. Harold gets the cleaver to the chest, and Edna gets, we're going to kind of double these up. And Edna gets is it a knitting needle through the back of the head through the mouth? That's fucking crazy. Harold, you fucking dirty fuck eating fish food. We're gonna put him here. You can't be alive. And Edna, they can go together. They'll go together. Yeah, they are absolutely gonna go together. Next, we have the 3 bikers. This is tough. Some of them are off screen. I think Fox is off screen, right? Yeah, she's there, but the way she's just sitting there. Now, Fox is like that just because they wanted the 3D effect, right, of it sticking towards the camera. She's going to join Harold and Edna. This smoking guy, the guy that barks like a dog. I don't even know his fucking name. I think he's going to be our first. No, I want to put him in the dead fuck category, but I like the way you see the pitchfork or whatever the hell it is kind of go through the back of him. So yeah, we're going to call him dead fuck. He's going to be a dead fuck. There's our first dead fuck. Like, kind of lame. Then we get Ali. Okay. Ali's a little unique for the bikers because he's clubbed to death, but he's not dead. And he comes back and saves the day at the end, actually. He literally saves the day. But it costs him his life and his hand. We'll put him in You Can't Be Alive. We'll have him join Fox there. All right, next we have, now we're getting tough, guys. Now we got a shit ton of great kills coming up, like a shit ton of great kills. We have Vera. And anyone that knows me, anyone that's followed my channel when I've talked Friday the 13th, they know my favorite moment from the fucking franchise is when Jason arrives on that pier with the mask for the first time. He kills Vera right through the eye with the harpoon gun, and kind of just tosses the harpoon gun down and takes a turn, and he's a badass. And he, like I say every time, that's when I feel like Jason is having fun killing these kids. And that is the Jason that we know and love was born in that moment. So is Vera going to be on the top? Close. She is going to go into my special boy in the second category. It's cool seeing a harpoon gun shot through someone's eye too. It's just a cool visual. Next, we have pregnant chick. I think it's Debbie. Did you guys know that the actress here, Tracy Savage, who plays this character, the pregnant chick, actually was a newscaster after this, and she was like the main newscaster during the OJ trial in, was that 94, whatever. Yeah, it's interesting. But her kill, she gets major points for reading a Fangoria about Tom Savini, right? She sees Andy, up top there. Where is Andy? Shouldn't he be next? Interesting. Is he on here? Is Andy on here? Where the fuck is he? It's like going in order, but it missed some. Andy's got to be on here. I'm probably just missing it. Anyway, anywho, because Andy's kill's fucking great. Tracy Savage, we're going to downgrade her because it's a copy of Kevin Bacon, but not through the neck, right? And how did you not see Jason laying under a hammock? It's not a bed. It's a hammock. We're gonna put her in Frendar. It's still a cool kill because of the Savini thing and stuff like that. But yeah. Next we have Chuck. Chuck. The 100-year-old hippie hanging on with high schoolers. We're gonna give Chuck a positive mark here. He's gonna be closer to the top, and it's for this scene. Okay. I was just watching Ronnie give his top 50 favorite moments in the Friday the 13th franchise, and he is bang on when he had this video of Chuck when Chuck turns on the lights and boom, Jason's right behind him. He's just standing there. He's been standing there the whole time. The kill in and of itself is a little bit underwhelming. He just tosses him into the breaker with the power. But that whole scene is fucking good. It's a very, very underrated scene that gets probably overshadowed by a lot of other Jason scenes. But it is really, really good. It's back when this franchise was a horror franchise and not just, what it became. We're going to put him in. He wasn't a very good swimmer just because of that. Next, we have Shelly, who kind of died off screen, but then kind of died on screen. He's playing these pranks the whole time. Sorry, Shelly. I know you're an iconic member of the franchise. This franchise is nothing without you, Shelly, because you gave Jason his mask. Larry Zerner is a great advocate as a lawyer for this franchise. But Shelly, you're going in the dead fuck category. Your boy who cried wolf routine was stupid. And just having his throat slit, the core of his throat being slit is actually pretty decent there. But still, I am not a fan of Shelly's death. And speaking of Shelly, Shelly's dead. Shelly's dead. Maybe the worst acting in the franchise coming up with Chili here. And that's fucking saying something for this franchise. Sorry, Chili. Chili, you're going right next to Shelly in dead fuck category. Like I said, a poker through the stomach. Kind of cool, right? But the way she's like running up the spiral staircase, Shelly's dead. And, I don't know. Underwhelming for me. And now we have the final death, and I'll leave, right? The final death from this list, although, like I said, Andy is not here. And spoiler alert, guys, Andy's death is going to be very high for me. But anyway, we'll continue. We have Rick, who, his death is all about the 3D effects, right? All about the 3D effects. They wanted that eyeball popping through the screen. Okay. And does it? I do see Andy on there. Good. Okay. Does Rick's death live up to the hype? No, it doesn't. But I love the scene once again. I keep talking about lead ups in these kills, and that does matter. When Jason's holding Rick on the side of the house and Chris is yelling out, "Rick, where are you?" She just missed him by a second because she said, Rick's like, "I'm going to go check outside." And she hesitates for a second and says, "Hold on, I want to go with you." It's too late. Rick's gone. Jason has him. And we see Jason's strength here. We're going to put this one back up in the frightened R category. So in the middle, towards the bottom of the middle, I think is fair for Rick. Okay. All right, let's get to Axel, a.k.a. the rabbi from Seinfeld. If you're a Seinfeld fan, a.k.a. dude from Police Academy. AKA the biggest. Is he the biggest? Is Axel the biggest pervert in the franchise? What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments if you think Axel is the biggest perv in the Friday the 13th franchise. I think there's an argument to be made with his like aerobic videos and the way he's harassing, whatever the nurse is that we're going to talk about in a second. Axel's death is fucking gory as hell. It is going up in the top. It's going to be in the top 10% for me. And it's because of that hacksaw, the way Jason, everything leading up to it again, right? But it's just fucking brutal. He gets the hacksaw on his neck, right? And Jason twists his fucking neck and kind of twists him to the side. Axel's death is brutal. Absolutely brutal. One of the best in the franchise. Speaking of brutal, this nurse, I think her name's Morgan. Okay, the chick that Axel is harassing. Okay, or has been harassing throughout every shift, it seems like, that they work together. The 80s, right? But Nurse Morgan, it's a simple, small, like, is it a knife or is it a, what Michael Myers uses in Halloween 2? Can't remember the name of it. Scalpel, right? Is it a knife or a scalpel? I don't know. But she gets a scalpel, and it's literally like, I can't watch this. It is literally from like her sternum all the way down to her stomach, really slow. For me, it's kind of brutal to watch and think about. It's going up for me in my special boy. Friday 4 has some, 3 and 4, but especially 4 has some just brutal kills, and it's the return of Tom Savini, and we know that with these first 2 kills in the movie that, man, Savini's back, because these first 2 kills are just brutal, and they don't let up. They do not let up. So partway through part 4, because we're almost halfway through the Paramount 8 here on these kills, and you can see I got a couple up top, and then a handful all around, and most are in the middle. It's interesting. Okay. Next, we have Fat Hitchhiker Lady. You got a sister? The Banana Girl. We'll stick her in. You can't be alive. Next, we have what's her face from Weird Science? Chick in the Raft. Okay, the slutty chick from part 4 here. This is tough. Okay, we're taking away the what happened behind the scenes in this scene. If you know, you know. And this is tough because it's another brutal one, but it's also like, I don't know. We're gonna put her, and he wasn't a very good swimmer, because it's not a bad kill. It's one of the weaker ones in this movie, which really says something about this movie, because it'd be on the top of some of these other movies. But yeah, we're gonna go there. Now we're gonna go to possibly the most painful kill, especially if you're a man, and that is spear gun to the balls, basically. With Weird Science chick's boyfriend. What's his name? It's not Ted, but it's I can't remember his name. I won't think of it. This is fucking brutal. Absolutely brutal. We're gonna put it up in my special boy because it's fucking good. It just gives me the heebie-jeebies. It is a good kill. Next, we have the first twin. Excuse me. The first double mint twin that gets it. And this is kind of off camera and kind of not. And it's a clever kill because we see it with the lightning. Okay, it's a rainy night, and we see the lightning strikes, and we see Jason kind of stab her, and her body goes flying against the house. Stylistic points would be up at the top, but it's a classic, like, just your basic stabbing. Done stylistically though, so it's not going to be at the bottom. This is going to be, we'll put it in You Can't Be Alive, because there's much better ways it could have been done, but I do give him credit for being a little stylist there. Next we have Mrs. Jarvis, kind of similar to like Brenda, where we don't get to see it. It's a flash, and I know there's a extended scene or deleted scene where she's in the bathtub at the end or something, and Trish sees her. This is going to be another entry into the dead fuck category. Mrs. Jarvis, why couldn't we get a kill? Like what happens when they do something like that, right? Did they just run out of budget? I don't know. It's interesting. Very interesting. Next, it looks like we have, we're going back to the opening of the original. So this isn't in order completely. It's kind of in order, kind of not. Yeah, there's some more here now I see some others from the original in this row. Okay, good. That means they got everything. Jeez, we still got a lot. This is gonna be a big ass tier list. But we got the opening kill of the movie. We weren't doing anything, that Mrs. Voorhees kills one of these kumbaya counselors, right? Not dead fuck, because it's the opening kill. It's our introduction to the franchise, but basic. It's gonna be You Can't Be Alive. Next, we got George McFly, Crispin Glover here. Where's the corkscrew? Ted, where's the corkscrew? And corkscrew in the hand and cleaver in the fucking face. And I know they shot this like reversed, right? Like, and then they rewound, or yeah, they shot it reversed and then filmed it reversed and then shot it and then rewound it. However they do it, who knows? I'm not a movie maker. You guys know what I mean. But it's a cool scene. It's a badass kill. For me, it's going to go towards the top. We're going to put it in my special boy. I think it's really fucking good. Really well done. Another one, would it be, just like Kevin Bacon, would it be as iconic if it wasn't a known actor? I don't know. But it's still goddamn good. Next, we have, I don't know what this next one is. I can't tell based on the picture. I'm going to move it over here because I can't tell. Next, we have, we'll come back to that one. It's probably something from part 4. I don't know. Oh, I know where it is. We're going to get it right away. It's the other Devilman twin. Okay. Being thrown from the window. The logistics of how Jason got there don't make any sense. We'll forgive that part. But thrown from the window onto the car. It's an iconic scene because the epic music and the way a car windows smash out, which would probably never happen. We're going to go off Frightened R with that one. Could be better. Next, we have Teddy Bear stabbed through the adult movie screen from the back, and then it slides down. This is going to be dead fuck. I'm not a fan of this kill. Not a fan at all. Sorry. 1 second. Got a text. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of this movie. I just, or not that movie. I'm not a fan of this kill. Teddy Bear's kill. Got distracted. God damn it. Yeah, it's just a little underwhelming for me. And I get it that he slides down on the blood. I get it, but not for me. Next, we have dude in the shower, the good-looking guy, right? Probably, you might be one of the better-looking guys in the franchise. For me, this is going all the way up to the top. This is fucking brutal kill. Not only is it a brutal kill, but it's a good shot at Jason with the mask. It's a really good shot at Jason with the mask. It's just fantastic. And the way he thinks it's his girlfriend, who we're going to talk about in a second, and then Jason just busts through the glass shower door and just smashes his face, and it's just brutal. And he's sliding with his bare feet. He's fucking naked, right? Just brutal. Really, really good kill. Next, we got his girlfriend running away from Jason, and somehow she gets an axe through the door, through her chest. I don't know how that happens. Is it cool? No. We're going to go in. You can't be alive. Next, we have Rob. He's killing me. He's killing me. He's killing me. Okay. Now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about the actual kill. He's getting it's like a little garden shears or something like that, and he's just brutally getting stabbed by that. That's brutal. I'm sorry. That is a tough kill. We're not going to put that, a lot of people have that being dead fuck because it become a kind of iconic moment. For me, it's going to go into Frightened R. And because it's really dark in there and it's creepy, and that whole basement scene is just, it fits with the whole movie because it's just dark and dank, and Jason just is brutal. Next, we have Jason himself. I mean, this is going up with Savini's best work here. This is going to go in the top. I'll give you something to remember us by, which fits with, that quote. The way he slides down on the machete is just fucking awesome. Really, really awesome. Okay. As we get through these next few, 2, 4, 6, we got about 7 left of the halfway point, I think, because these next 7 are all from parts 1 through 4, or I guess 1 through 3 technically, because we're done with 4. But yeah, as we get through there, once we get to the back half, we're gonna probably won't be talking as much about all the rest, but we'll stop and talk about some of them. We're still gonna rank them. Okay. All right. Next, we have Mrs. Voorhees herself, head chopped off by Alice. I don't know if we hadn't seen anything like this before in 1980, but if we have, it wasn't as well done. Obviously, if these are Tom Savini's hands, you can see by the hairy knuckles. This is good. We're going to call it he wasn't a very good swimmer. So top, upper half, essentially. Next, we have Andy's kill, the handstand kill. Okay. So throughout this movie, they've been setting up Andy walking on his hands, which is probably harder than it looks. I haven't tried doing that, at least since I've been a kid. Probably harder than it looks. Okay. But I love this scene where he's walking on his hands. Pregnant chick girlfriend is in the shower, right? And all of a sudden we see Jason standing there around like the corner. And I love that we look up and we see what Jason looks like from Andy's upside down view. And it's fucking menacing. And we see Jason take the machete and fucking slice him in half from the fucking balls. Oh my God. This, I'm not going to lie, guys. This is my favorite kill in the entire franchise. It's going all the way up to the top. It's getting too crowded. It is going all the way up to the fucking top. Oh, is it brutal? I love it. I absolutely love it. Next, we have Terry from part 2. Okay. Tight jean shorts girl. Another one of these that it's kind of like off screen, or it's just kind of fake, cuts to black and or cuts to white or something like that. You know, we see her dead body at the end. And dead fuck. Her kill's a dead fuck. Next, we have, hey, what are you doing out in this mess? Steve fucking Christie. One of the reasons that this franchise exists, because if he doesn't open up the camp, Mrs. Voorhees doesn't start a killing spree, and Jason doesn't see her be beheaded, etc., etc., etc. Steve Christie, okay, mean mustache. He's an interesting character. But where does his kill belong? You know, he was kind of a red herring for part of the movie because he left throughout the day, and we didn't really see him till the diner scene. But then he gets killed, and we don't see he was killing him, but we know he kind of knows who it is, right? An old friend of the Christies, right? We're gonna go on You Can't Be Alive, because like you just kind of get stabbed and it fades again. Next, we have the girl from the opening of the franchise in 1958 with the guys like, we weren't doing anything. Same with him. We're going to put her in You Can't Be Alive. And mostly just because of what it means to see the first, victims of anyone in the franchise. 2 more, and then we are halfway through this list as far as movies go. Okay. We have Annie, okay, who we thought was the final girl, or probably, excuse me, I can't remember the first time I saw this movie, but we thought she was the final girl. And then they pull a switcheroo on us. Very good switcheroo, even though I think Annie would have been a better final girl than Alice was, but that's neither here nor there. She's got a good kill. Once again, the lead up to it, the creepiness of like her in the Jeep with Mrs. Voorhees, even though we don't know it's Mrs. Voorhees. Mrs. Voorhees is speeding up. She's not answering. Annie has to jump out. And then we get the slice neck with great special effects once again by Savini. I sound like a broken record when I say that. It's a great scene. And it's during the daytime. I love daytime kills if they're done right. This one's done right. As we go through the franchise, there's other daytime kills that I don't like because they're not done right. Everyone's lit up like a Christmas tree. There's no dread. There's no creepiness. Here, there's dread. She is running, and she doesn't know where she is. She hurts her knee. Like it's really, really good. So where does her kill belong? We're going to put her up towards the top in My Special Boy because I like the effects. I like the whole scene. Next, we have Ned's kill. Okay. Stay with me on this one, guys. Okay. Because it's going to surprise you. Because everything I've done up until this point with like off-screen kills and kills we don't see, and we maybe only see the aftermath, has been on the downside. But I'm going to sell you guys on why Ned's kill should be on the positive side here and where it's going to be for me. Fucking love the whole scene with Ned. I think when Ned sees Mrs. Voorhees barely go into the cabin, he says hello, and it's dusk. I already talked about dusk. When Ned sees Mrs. Voorhees do that, and he follows her into the cabin, and then we don't see him again until we see his body when lightning strikes, when Kevin Bacon and Marcy are boning right below him, and we see his throat slit like this. I think that's creepy as fuck. It's something the franchise never really recreated again. A little here and there. But that Ned scene is fucking great. For me, Ned, I'm not going to put him up on the top one, but he's going to go in my special boy in one rung below the best. I think it's that fucking good. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I just want to see how many are left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. What's 4 times 15? 60? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 60. Hey, 69. 69 kills left to rank. We're going to go through these a little quicker, okay? Unless you want me to stay and go forever. But I don't want to do that. Okay. All right, and I apologize. I'm not really paying too much attention to the chat, but that's okay. You guys have noticed that. Let's keep talking. Let's keep going here. Next, we have Demon's Kill. I mean, he's going to move up to I wasn't a very good swimmer just for the enchiladas, right? Just for the enchiladas, okay? Some of these, I don't even know what the fuck they are. Like, what is this? What is this next image? Can you guys see her? It looks like a fake head. I don't know. We'll put it in dead fuck. Same with this one. Dead fuck. Okay. Now we're getting into some of these other characters from part 5 here. This is that weird dude. It's funny. Talking about part 5, that weird dude. I could be talking about every fucking character in the movie, right? I can't remember this character's name. We're going to put him in the Frightened R category because I feel like that just fits him. Okay. Next, we have Jason stabbing someone through something. I can't tell what. Another one I can't tell. Sorry, guys. Some of these from part 5, I need to rewatch. Who is this? Oh, a paramedic guy. Like part 5, like I said, I don't hate part 5 at all. You guys saw from my ranking earlier in the night. But some of these kills are ho-hum and you can't even remember because there's just so many there's so many characters in this movie that just show up and then they're killed. And I know that's what the franchise became, right? But part 5 is especially notorious for, going to a couple paramedics, going to a couple greasers, going to a couple at a diner, and then they die in each of those scenes. We get to know them for 5 seconds. That's why it's hard to remember. Here we go though. Matt's kill, another off-screen kill, but at least he has something through his head, right? Well, we're gonna put Matt in. We're gonna put him up here, and he wasn't a very good swimmer, just because that, whatever that is, I can't remember what it is. It's like whatever they nail. It's not a nail, but it's a huge fucking nail, right? Like right through the fucking forehead. That's brutal. It's a cool scene. Or a cool shot. Next we have, is that Reggie's grandpa? Oh man, he was a good guy, guys. He was a good guy. We're gonna put him in You Can't Be Alive because I don't think we actually saw that. Next, we have Roy, the paramedic, aka Jason Imposter from part 5. Can we just talk about the fact that there is a thing of spikes right there? Like, is this Looney Tunes? But either way, getting tossed on there. We'll call that a Frightened R. It's not bad. It's not bad for the movie. It's not bad. All right, now we're going to talk about a good kill from part 5. And that is going to be Deborah Voorhees. Yes, same last name as Jason, the actor that played, or that's the actress that played this character. She's got the big you-know-whats. She gets garden shears through the fucking eyes. That is brutal. That is absolutely brutal. That's going to go all the way up in my special boy. Yes, it was kind of cut down by, I think, the MPAA, but that is a brutal fucking kill. Looks like we're into part 6 now. And we're going to get Hoss. Jason comes alive, and he punches him right through the fucking heart. And I love that as he punches him, he basically grabs his heart while he is punching through the guy's chest. So it's like he punches through and grabs it and pushes it through and still has it in his hand. That's pretty badass. That is pretty badass. We're going to go into, he wasn't a very good swimmer. Like, that is a badass kill in this franchise. Okay. Next, we have is this Ronald Goldman or whatever the hell his name is? I can't remember his name. Dude from Ghost. Tony Goldman. This is pretty cool because Jason has the part from the fence that Tommy helped was stabbing him, and then he was struck by lightning and he was resurrected, right? But he takes this and he kind of just like gets him in the stomach and kind of flings him backwards like that. I'm sorry, that's cool and it perfectly fits this movie. It's not great, but we're gonna put him in. He wasn't a very good swimmer. As you can see, guys, look at how many kills there are, man. And we're only doing the Paramount 8. It's crazy. All right, next we have Tony Goldman's wife, who was played by Tom McLaughlin's real life wife. I can't remember what her first name was. I think it's Nancy McLaughlin. But this is famous for the American Express part, right? Don't leave home without it. Jason just kind of like he almost this might be Jason's first teleportation here, because she kind of looks up and he's gone, right? And then all of a sudden he appears again. So we always talk about Jason Takes Manhattan and the teleportation, but this might be the first time Jason teleported. We're gonna put this one in Frightened R in the middle, not great, but the bottom of the middle rungs. All right, now we got Smiley Face Dude, and this one, he's one of the paintballers. I think Jason actually ripped his arm off. Is this one he rips his arm off and then he goes kind of flinging against the tree? Look, it's cute. I don't want this franchise to be cute. I get it. Like I said, I already gave my thoughts on Jason Lives earlier. I'm putting this one in dead fuck. It just crosses the line for me of, I'm more of like a person that I just want to see the more of the horror elements. Okay. Like for me, that crosses the line. Okay. Now we're going to talk about Vic killing Joey in a second. And before we do that, I feel like a sneeze is coming on at some point. So I'm probably going to hit mute at some point and sneeze. So I apologize. But I'm going to keep going. All right. So Joey's death, he's just trying to give Vic some chocolate, guys. He's just trying to give Vic some chocolate. I mean, for the pure ridiculousness of this scene and not knowing what the fuck was going to happen. I mean, I'm putting this one. I mean, let's be honest, guys. This belongs in Frank Dar. It just does. Okay, next we have Jason beheading 3 paintballers in one fell machete swipe. Pretty impressive, if you ask me. Very, very impressive. Where does it belong on my list? You guys have kind of seen my list. I'm talking about how I like horror, and the other one crossed the line. This one is not quite as egregious as the smiley face one, but still too campy for me. We're going to put it in. You can't be alive. Next, we have the final paintballer, which is the nerdy guy who was about to win the paintball tournament, and he shoots Jason in the chest. Now, this is camp that worked for me. Jason looking down at the paint on the chest and this nerdy guy running away. Like, it's funny. I think it works for me. And this one's going to go in Frightened Dark because it's a little bit ahead of the other ones. Look, we got 2 rows now here. It's crazy. Next, we have Martin, the caretaker, who gets stabbed in, is it the neck or stomach? I think stabbed in the neck with his best friend, his only friend in the entire world, his bottle of booze. Where does he belong? I don't know. We're going to put him in Frightened R2. Next, we have the 2 people the guy that witnessed Martin gets stabbed, the caretaker gets stabbed, and his brand new fiance. He witnesses it. Jason looks at him. He starts running away. He says, get on the bike, go, go, go. And Jason just stabs him in there. I can't stand this fucking scene. I just don't like it. It's going to be a dead fuck for me. Jason looking at him is kind of cool, but it's unnecessary. It's just for the body to put more bodies in there, which we're watching Friday the 13th for the bodies at this point. Let's call a spade here, right, Nick? But I don't like this scene. I just don't. Okay, now we're gonna get into some good shit from part 6. And here is what's her face, the chick that's banging Court. This haunted me as a kid. When she gets her face pushed through the mirror and the metal and her face, she's like emoting through the metal. It's fucking good. I am bringing this up. I gotta piece this together. This is gonna be in He Wasn't a Very Good Swimmer. Like, it is in the third tier for me. That's how good that kill is for me. Next, we have Court himself. Okay. He's playing some song. I don't think it's an Alice Cooper song, but it's like something like that, right? He basically just gets stabbed in the temple. And then, of course, the famous part of this scene is the RV flipping on its side on fire, Jason kicking it open, and we get the the dun, 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 while Jason's standing on the top of the RV. That's a fucking iconic shot, right? Iconic in the Friday the 13th franchise. But Court's death itself, it's underwhelming for me, but we're going to put it right next to Martin the Caretaker in Frightened R. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's great. Next, we have, this is a terrible picture. What is this? I assume it's from part 6 still. I don't know. So we'll put it in dead F. Dead fuck. Yeah, I can't tell what that is. Next, we have the African-American counselor from part 6. The one that I think she's the one that says that's playing the card game about Jason, right? Where you're trying to guess which cabin Jason is in. It's like a card game, right? Which is a nice touch, because that's something that would happen in real life if you were in a place where there was a legend like that. I do like that about part 6. Okay. So the question becomes, Jason, I like the way Jason pulls her out of the cabin and then kind of twists her neck. Okay. So where does she belong? I'm going to say she is going to go up into I Wasn't a Very Good Swimmer. I'm going to move her up there. Where'd she go? I lost her. Where the fuck did she go? Here she is. Okay. Yeah, she's going to go in I Wasn't a Very Good Swimmer. Like, it's a good kill. It's a really good kill. Next, we have, I'm guessing this is the next kill where the chick walks into the cabin, the other counselor walks in the cabin, and you just see blood fly everywhere. What I like about this kill isn't actually the kill itself. It's later when the cops go in there. I can't remember if it's Garris. I think it might be Sheriff Garris that walks in the cabin and just sees the whole thing filled with blood. Like Johnny Depp in Nightmare on Elm Street level blood. Like, I love that. Is it unrealistic and ridiculous? Yes, of course it is. But we're talking Friday the 13th here, so it's okay. We're going to put that one in Frightened R. Not great, but just for that scene with Garris, it's great. We're going to stick a couple cop deaths together. Not Garris, we'll talk about him in a second, but the two around him, we're going to put both in You Can't Be Alive. One cop, he gets, holds him by the head and squeezes his head, kind of like he does to Rick in part 3, without the eyeball, obviously. And the other one, kind of cool, he spots Jason with the flashlight, and Jason just takes a knife and throws it right at him, hits him right there, and he flies on a boat. Kind of cool. Yeah, I'm going to put the boat guy actually up into Frightened R just because it's a cool scene. Let's talk about Sheriff Garris's death now. Okay. Like I said earlier, when I was talking about, Megan and talking about Friday 6 in general. Okay. You guys know I'm not the biggest Friday 6 fan. If you know anything about me in this channel, or if you've been watching tonight. Okay. It's interesting because I love Sheriff Garris. I just like the character. I think he's a realistic character. He's a good cop. He's a good dad. He's a good person. He comes off like a complete dickhead at first, but he redeems himself. And when he hears Megan, when he's hiding from Jason, right? He's shooting Jason. He fucking bolts it and hides from Jason. He realizes what he's dealing with. But then he hears Megan's voice, and Jason turns to Megan. And he snaps. He has to protect his daughter. So he starts bashing Jason in the head with a rock. Okay. He starts bashing him in the head with a rock. And Jason fucking bends him backwards in half. And the sound effects of this kill are fucking incredible. This one is going all the way up to the top tier for me. It's a great fucking kill. That makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the top. That one belongs right up there for me. Okay, looks like we have some from 5 left scattered in here, and then basically 7 and 8. Okay, I'm going to breeze through some of these here, guys. Okay, next we have, we'll call this a twofer in part 7. Okay, it is the 2 people whose birthday party it is. Eventually, Tina starts having visions of one of them dying, because apparently even with telekinesis, you can have visions. I don't know, whatever. They're okay. We're going to put them in You Can't Be Alive. Okay. Same with the next guy, which is the partner of the sleeping bag kill. Okay. Actually, is that? I can't tell. It's hard to tell on some of these. But let's talk about the sleeping bag kill. Okay. It's a good fucking kill. What's interesting about this kill is originally, and this is the movie out that famously the MPAA butchered more than any in the franchise, but originally Jason, Kane Hodder as Jason, bashed her against the tree, like, I can't remember how many times, but it was at least 3 times, maybe 5, something like that. Like brutal, just brutal. MPAA cuts it down to 1. This is the one time he hits her against the tree and then she's dead. But it's the one time I think what the MPAA did actually helped the scene, because it just plays better like that. This is a lot of people's favorites kills. For me, it's going to be in the second category, my special boy, because it is very, very good. Not quite on the level of these others I have on top. But for me, I agree with people. The sleeping bag kill is a really, really good kill. A couple others we're going to breeze by here and then get to some others. Some of these from, like, especially part 7. Oh, actually 7 and 8. Like, they're ho-hum, we'll say. But, like, some of these, like, I don't know who this is. I can't tell what this picture is trying to be. Let's talk about this chick that is getting all dolled up for some guy that's never even going to fucking look at her. And then Jason comes after her. I actually don't mind this scene in part 7. Like, she ends up in a barn, Jason in a barn again, but there's like sections of the barn and Jason ends up killing her by bashing through the wood on some. But the lead up to that, where she is kind of hiding from Jason and not knowing where he is and stuff like that, it's a good scene, especially for this movie. So good. In fact, I'm going to move it up into, we're going to move it up, and we're going to keep it in Frightened Hour. I think that's a perfect spot for it. Josh, what's up, buddy? How's it going? Josh, I'm ranking via tier list all the kills in Fridays 1 through 8. Earlier, I ranked all the Final Girls via tier list and all the movies via tier list. How you doing, buddy? Next, from part 7, we have the African-American couple who are in the van. First, we get the guy that goes to check out the noise, and Jason just kind of twists his neck, but not in a good way, like Axel. Dead fuck. Then we get, is it the girl that gets the party favor through the eyeball? That is kind of cool. I'm going to give that Frightened Hour. Okay. I think that is kind of cool. Okay. As I'm going through this, guys, if you're still in the chat, give me your favorite kill in the entire franchise in the comments. Okay. I want to see where it falls as far as my ranking goes. And then I'm gonna rank when I get to my top here before I sign off. I'm gonna put them in order, at least for the for my top tier there. Next we have, who knows? I don't know what the fuck that is. Who cares? If I don't know what it is, who gives a fuck, right? Like, I know all these, but like some of these, you look at it, it's like, I don't know what the picture is, and I can't comprehend what it's trying to be. But we're getting there. Next we have, is this that Eddie guy? That I think it's that Eddie guy that wants to be some sci-fi writer or something like that. I think this is the guy, though, that ends up having his head. I could be wrong with this. He ends up having his head in a plant, and later in the movie, when Tina's tossing the plant at him, his head is still in there, which is a nice touch. So we'll give him a little extra point for that. But part 7 sucks ass, guys. I said earlier, it sucks ass. We'll give it a little extra points. Put him in Frightened Hour. Okay. Next, we have I think she's redheaded chick. She ends up going topless in this movie, but she basically gets thrown out the window. It's kind of like a half recreation of the Doublemint twin that gets pulled through the window from the other side in final chapter. It's like a half recreation of that, but the half that sucks, right? This, if I'm not mistaken, this scene was filmed like after the whole movie was filmed. For some reason, I can't remember why. This scene sucks ass. It's a dead fuck kill for sure. Next, we have, oh no, this guy is the sci-fi writer. This guy. Can't remember how he gets it, so we can go in dead fuck. If you're not memorable enough for me to remember your fucking kill in a Friday the 13th movie that I've seen numerous times, yes, even the shitty ones like New Blood, well, then you're a dead fuck, okay? Now we get the one and only time in the entire franchise that Jason fucking Voorhees uses a power tool. And that's when he kills, or when he's killing Tina's mom and Bad News Cruz. Okay, so we got two. It's a twofer here. This is when like Bad News Cruz really goes from like a douchebag doctor to a borderline fucking villain because he sacrifices Tina's mom. He like holds her so she gets killed, and he ends up getting killed anyway. Because of the power tool, we're gonna put it up in Frightendar. And Bad News Cruz is really cut down. In Frightendar too. We'll call that a twofer. All right. There's not too many kills in these last couple of movies that I would consider legitimately great. But this next one, I absolutely consider legitimately great. So the whole movie, we're hating on Melissa. Probably the biggest bitch in this franchise. And when you have someone that's a big bitch or a big asshole or douchebag or whatever superlative you want to call someone for sucking at life, or being mean or whatever, you want to see him get killed in these movies. Royally killed spectacularly. And oh my God, Melissa's is great. I was just talking about this in a video I made a couple days ago, my best Jason moments, because this made the list. Melissa's talking to Tina and Nick. Great name, by the way. And, they're telling her, don't go over there. Don't go over there. She's like, fuck you both. But as she's saying that, you see Jason's shadow on the outside of the door. She opens the door and we get a shot of Jason that's badass and awesome. And he takes a fucking axe, hits her right in the head, takes her limp body with one arm and tosses it over the TV. Just a badass scene. It's fucking great. I'm putting it up there in the top one. I have to. I love it that much. Looks like we are on to Jason Takes Manhattan, and we get the opening kill of this guy. This is a weird kill because Jason, I remember watching this as a kid, and Jason takes a harpoon gun and sticks it in his stomach, and this guy grabs the harpoon gun, and there's in a harpoon gun, there's these wires. I remember as a kid, I always thought it was the guy's intestines or something, but it's not. I don't know why I thought that. Apparently, I didn't know my biology as a kid. But anyway, this is You Can't Be Alive. And then we have his girlfriend here, who, this is a weird kill because it's just Jason slowly taking a dart or something, or spear or arrow, the slowest time, and then just pushing it in her stomach. It's gonna go in You Can't Be Alive too. Some of these kills, these last few movies, are bad. It's not memorable. Next, we have the guitar kill where Jason takes the guitar to the guitar chick and just smashes her over the head with it. It's cool. It's cool. We're gonna put it up in He Wasn't a Very Good Swimmer, just because I like the scene. As far as the movie goes, the movie sucks, but it's one of the better scenes in this movie. Next, we have, I don't know. If I don't know, it's a dead fuck. Okay, here we go. Very underrated kill here. It's not underrated like Melissa's kill where it deserves to be on the top, but this is a great fucking scene where the Jason takes a sauna rock as this guy, this boxer is laying there, the guy that Julius beat, takes a sauna rock, and those are hot as fuck, right? Picks it up and pushes it through the guy's stomach. And we see it from like above. It's fucking brutal. This kill is going up higher for me. It is going to go into my special boy. I love that kill. That's brutal. It's a kill that is very unique. So that's why it's up there for me. Next, we have biology chick. Jason takes glass and stabs her. And we'll put that in You Can't Be Alive. Put this one in Dead Fuck. I'm going to get rid of some of these ones that are, I don't know what they are. Do I know what all these are? I don't know. Some of these are weird. Okay. Next, we have the Admiral, the captain of the ship, Sean, the final guy in this movie, his dad. We get the very stylized, slow motion, just quick. Jason quickly takes a knife, or I think it's like almost machete actually, and just slices him, and you see slow. It's very weird the way this kill is. It's not bad per se, but it certainly ain't fucking good. We're gonna put that in Frightened R. Next, we have Kelly Hugh, whatever, Asian chick, from Jason Takes Manhattan. Okay. What I like about this kill is twofold. Okay. Number one, the disorientation of her running and Jason being everywhere. You know, everywhere she runs, and this is him teleporting again, right? Everywhere she runs, Jason is there, and all of a sudden she's on the dance floor and he's gone. And she's turning in a circle. She doesn't know where he is. And you got the music playing. And she's the only one in this dance floor, or in this like whole like big room with a dance floor. And all of a sudden, Jason then is right next to her because of teleportation, right? But Jason brutally fucking chokes her, like brutally, and slams her body down. It's a good kill, just because of the visceral nature of it all. We're gonna put that in. He wasn't a very good swimmer. See, I'm being fair. I'm being fair to the movies I hate. I don't even know what this one is. So I can go Dead Fuck. This guy is the guy that is running away from Jason. He starts climbing up the whatever the ladder tower on the ship is. Okay. And Jason is standing down there. He's climbing. He looks down. Jason's still down there. Boom! A second later, teleportation. Jason's right behind him on the ladder. Tosses him down, and he's right on this, I don't know, antenna type thing. We're going to put that in. You Can't Be Alive because it's stupid. Next, we have the crazy Ralph of Part 8, the guy on the ship that's warning everyone the whole time. He just kind of walks out and has an axe in his back. Put that also in. You Can't Be Alive because it's kind of lame, but, you know, cliched at this point with horror movies, right? Next we have, what is this? Oh, it's the guy that gets electrocuted on the Lazarus boat. Lame. Dead fuck. Next we have, see, some of these I don't even fucking know anymore. Like, who is this with an axe through her chest here? Who is that? I don't know who that is. I know it's not the chick from Part 4. That's what I was saying, because we've already had her. Yeah, she's up here. So who is this? I don't know. So she can go in Dead Fuck. Next, let's do a twofer here with these two guys that gave Rinny drugs, and presumably we're going to rape her. Jason's kind of a hero here, which I don't like, to be honest. I don't like Jason being the hero. We're going to put it in You Can't Be Alive. Okay. We'll get to Julius in a second here. Cop car blowing up and killing Rennie's teacher. Really a dead fuck moment because it's stupid as fuck. Jason killing the cop whose cop car that was. It's not going to be a dead fuck, actually, for me. This is going to be You Can't Be Alive. Because it's not quite at the bottom. Because I like that Jason kind of comes out of nowhere without teleporting and strangles a guy with his own, as he's calling for help. I like that. Okay. I don't know what that is. We're going to call it dead fuck. A couple of these, I don't know what they are. We're going to get them in the dead fuck categories. All right. So we got one, and then this one. Okay. So, yeah, I know what these last ones are. All right. 5 left. Thanks for sticking with me, guys, if you've been watching the whole time. Really appreciate it. I know I've just kind of been rambling and not paying attention to the chat because it was a lot to get through. But I want to talk about these last 5 here. Okay. First, Julius. Okay. I think Julius is probably in the top 10 of most people's kills. And it might be for me too, but it's a little too cartoony for me. And it's funny when you say that because this whole fucking movie, hell, half this franchise is fucking cartoony, especially at this point, right? But this is a little too cartoony, especially the way it bounces and lands in the trash can. We're going to put Julia. It's not at the bottom. I'm going to move it up here. It's not at the bottom. We're going to put it in. Yeah, he wasn't a very good swimmer because all these other brutal ones that I really like in the second category here, or second tier, I should say, because we're on a tier list, right? We're going to put it here. And I'm actually surprised. I'm surprised that I have 3 kills from part 8 in the third tier list and 1 from part 8 in the second tier list. That surprises me because I hate part 8. But maybe I need to give it another shot because some of these kills, like I said, we got the sauna guy kill, we got the rocker chick kill, we got Kelly Hughes kill, and now we got Julia. So yeah, that's 4 in the top 3, or in the categories 2 and 3 here. That's pretty good. That's better than a lot of these movies. Interesting. Surprising myself. And now we get another good kill from part 8. Charles McCullough's kill. Okay. Maybe the biggest dickhead in the franchise. Now, the fact that there is barrels of toxic waste sitting in the streets of New York City is another question. You know, why at midnight every night the sewer fills with toxic waste? So maybe that's, who knows. But Jason literally picks him up and drowns him in toxic sewage. That's pretty badass. That is going to join these others. And he wasn't a very good swimmer. Like, that is pretty badass. Next, we have... See, I've seen him on other lists. Does Ken Kersinger's character in the New York Diner die? Like, Jason throws him into the glass. He doesn't die. We're not going to put him in dead fuck because he's technically not dead. And it's kind of, maybe this is kind of like, I like the little diner scene. Maybe just because I like diner scenes in movies. You know, whether it's this, whether it's Superman 2. You know, I like diner scenes. 2 left. I don't know why these are the last 2. It's just the order they came in. But the second last one, we have the guy, speaking of toxic waste, is the guy that works in the sewers. That Jason, once again, a little stylized here. They show us through shadows and blood splatter. Jason takes like a big socket, not a socket, but a huge like industrial wrench and just bashes him over the head. You get good sound effects with it. I actually like this kill. We're going to put that in Frightened R. Final kill is from part 5. The dude that's banging Deborah Sue Voorhees. Brutal fucking kill here. Absolutely brutal kill. I don't remember this guy's name, but it's basically he gets a sorry, I'm checking something. He gets the leather strap around his eyes, and the guy, Roy Burns, takes wood and just twists it, and you just see it going through. Oh, it's fucking brutal. Really inventive kill. This is going to go up towards... This is going to go in my special boy. All right, so I did it, guys. You know, what is 75% of the franchise? No, 66% of the franchise. I ranked the kills here. I'm going to talk about the top categories and put them in order in a second here. But this is how it shakes out. Like I said, I do not like to have my elite of the elite have like 20 in there. So how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that's probably right. But now let's put them in order. Okay. I already told you guys. And before I do that, Live to Fishwork says Mark from part 2 is his favorite kill. And Josh says part 8 is underrated. You know, like I said, Josh, I hate part 8, but maybe I need to revisit it here based on how I rank some of these kills. Maybe I'm grading on the curve. I don't know. Interesting. It surprised me a little bit here as I was doing it. All right, let's put these in my personal order. Okay. So just these top 7. Number one, I already told you guys, Andy is my favorite kill in the entire franchise. Like, bar none. I fucking love that kill. I would probably leave Mark at number two. I'll probably have Shower Dude at number three. Let's move him there. Axel 4, Jason himself 5, Sheriff Garris 6, and Melissa 7. Yeah, that would probably be my top 7 in order in the franchise. And then if you're adding in this here, like, I'm not going to do this for all the categories because I'm not, insane here, and I've been going for close to 2 hours already. But if I was going to do the same thing for this next tier here, I would probably have, let's see here. This is fun, actually. This part, I'm going to do this for the second round. So let's go with, what is this one again? That's the dude that gets it in the groin. I'd probably go with Vera, just because, like I said, it's my favorite fucking moment in the franchise. I like having Marcy there, number 2, because that whole fucking scene in that outhouse or outdoor bathroom is fucking incredible. I'd probably have, I just love Ned's scene too much. I just love it. Ned there. We will have, yeah, Ronnie, I'm still going. I'm running out of steam. I'm just putting these top 2 categories in order, and then I'm calling it. But yeah, so if I'm putting these in order, then here, yeah, I'll probably put Nurse Morgan next after Ned, just because it's so fucking brutal to me. And then the dude that gets it in the groin. Then we go Crispin Glover. Annie, actually, yeah, I'd put Annie just because I love the whole scene of being lost in the woods during the daytime and the way it was shot. Like I said, I always like this sauna guy kills, even though it's from a shitty movie. So I'd probably put it there because, like I said, it's a kill you don't see all the time. Sauna rocks through the fucking stomach, or just it's so unique. And then Deborah Sue Voorhees, I'll probably put Sleeping Big kill, and then these two belong together, I guess, from part 5. Yeah, that's probably how I'd have my first 2 categories if they were in order. And like I said, so let's just quickly go through what the tier lists look like here. So like I said, I got 7 in the top category, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 in the second category, and then everyone else is down here, in either the middle or the bottom. A lot of shitty ones, right? But yeah, it's a lot of kills here. Like, this was ambitious for me to do, but it was kind of fun. Yeah, interesting. So if you guys are watching after the fact, tell me your favorite kill in the Friday the 13th franchise. Josh says, watch part 8 at 4 a.m. in the morning, my man. It's an experience. Interesting. Okay, I'll try that out sometime. I don't usually get up that early. Ronnie says, got to keep going. Yeah, I don't think so, pal. I don't think so. And Josh says, damn, I'm like so down to chill. More top kills for me close, but the axe to the face of Melissa in part 7, then thrown through the TV. Yeah, I like I said, I hate part 7. Like, I'm not even joking when I say the word hate. I can't stand part 7, but I love that Melissa kill so much that it made the top tier for me. That's how much I love that kill. So yeah, that is the 3 rankings I've had, guys. 3 rankings tonight. We did the movies, we did the Final Girls, and we did the top kills from the Paramount 8, where I guess I stole that term from Ronnie here in the chat. And it's something I've heard him use on him and Blake's channel a lot. And I just like it. I think it flows very nice. It's a nice way to call the first 8 movies at Paramount 8. It makes sense. But yeah, so that is my Friday the 13th ranking stream tonight. There was a lot of you in the chat. I didn't really get to the chat very much, but there's a lot of you in the chat and a lot of viewers that I could tell were just, watching all night. And I want to say thank you because, this was daunting. It was daunting. And it's basically 2 hours of me rambling on and on and on and on and on. Like right now, I'm keep going, right? But, Friday the 13th week, it's exciting. Like I said, I am out of town this weekend, so I can't do anything tomorrow. My luck, there's going to be some big Friday the 13th Crystal Lake news drop tomorrow, or Jason Universe is going to come up with some bullshit, and everyone's going to make videos, and it's going to be a big nothing burger. But yeah, the kills, there's, you forget how many kills are in these movies until you line up 8 movies together and you're trying to rank them and you realize, oh shit, this is going to take forever. But it's fun. It's fun talking this franchise. It's so unique, and just going through these kills, like you would think with this many kills, there'd be a lot more that are similar, right? And there are, but think about all the uniqueness here. Like, and just look at my top where I value things. Like, obviously, like there's outliers like Ned, right? Like off-screen kill, but I just fucking love this. I love everything about the scene, and I love the reveal of it with the lightning. But everything else, like, it's pretty unique. You got a guy chopped in fucking half from the balls. You got a guy in a wheelchair get a machete to the face and go down a huge flight of stairs. You got a guy taking a shower, and Jason busts through the glass in the shower and smashes his head against the wall. You got a coroner who gets a hacksaw to the neck and his head twisted off. You got the killer sliding down a machete. You got a sheriff being bent backwards in half. And you got a bitch girl getting an axe to the head and just kind of tossed through a TV or over a TV. Like, that is some unique shit. And even getting to the next one, like harpoon gun through the eye, machete, axe to the face, throat cut off screen, throat cut on screen, knife through from sternum to stomach, harpoon through the groin, cleaver to the face, arrow through, like, look at all that. Sauna, arrow, like sleeping bag, like a lot of unique shit here in this franchise for that many kills. But you know, what's going to happen in Crystal Lake, the series, who knows? And, you know, when we get a new movie, are they going to try too hard to be unique? Who knows what's going to happen? But yeah, so that is my Friday the 13th stream tonight, guys. I appreciate everyone watching. Thank you. Happy Friday the 13th this weekend. Stay out of trouble, and I will see you guys on the next one.